Hey Internet, this is Chuck from Death Engineering. I'd like to talk a little bit about my experiences with Arcade 1UP in general, specifically the Tron unit. Because as much as I love this unit and as much as I appreciate everything that Arcade 1UP has done to construct all the units that we have here, I think that my experience with their technical service will probably come in handy for a lot of folks. And it's not a negative thing. My experience with the technical service team has been excellent. I've had a lot of really, really good things happen very quickly, even out of warranty. And that's great. But my concern is, why did I have to make all these contacts? So let's start off a little bit by talking about how Tron arrived. When we first picked up Tron, it was a little bit into its lifespan on the market, and at the time they were starting to become a little bit scarce, but it was before they were starting to really become on sale. So we did pay the full $6.99 for this unit, and mostly because I probably would have paid whatever they wanted for it, being a fan of the film. But at any rate, when we first unpacked it, the first thing that came to mind was that the left and the right side panels were labeled incorrectly. Being my second machine assembly, this was pretty easy to figure out because the instructions are actually really well done. The the problem, of course, is why was the left labeled the right and why was the right labeled the left? Well, that's one thing it was really easy to compensate for, and it came together nicely. The next thing that happened was the joystick ran into an issue where it was impossible to really do an up. You couldn't go up. Up was always a diagonal, up and to the right. And the really great thing is that Arcade 1UP came through, and within a very short period of time, they shipped us a replacement joystick unit. The opportunity presented itself at the time to replace the trigger switch. The trigger switch, if you're familiar with it, is very heavy, and if you're playing a game, for example, like the MCP Cone, you're really trying to hammer at those pieces. The original trigger switch is really heavy, and I replaced it with a much lighter switch. So as the new joystick went in, also did the much lighter switch. And the next thing that happened, now this was, probably about 120 days into its lifespan, so it's past its warranty, but not so far past its warranty that it'd be, a real issue. The spinner went out. And I'll explain a little bit how the spinner went out. The spinner had a very, very easy to detect, oh, I'm going to die kind of a thing. Initially, the spinner would appear as though it was stuck at like the 45-degree angle. For example, if you're doing Discs of Tron, it would go up in the top left corner. Or if you're doing one of the Tron games, it would kind of point up in the top left. And you'd spin it a little bit, and it'd be like it would stick. Like it was stuck there, then it would go. And it did that for probably, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 games, and then it went. So it was very quick, but it was something that you could see happening. So it was pretty obvious that it was the spinner that failed. Almost certainly it was the light sensor emitter, probably the emitter itself. Overuse, burned out. And I did have Tron on a fair bit of the time during the time it was set up in the house, as why not? So that takes us to the spinner, the controller. Both of them been replaced, and Tron is now back operational. So pretty happy with that so far. Now the first unit that we picked up was this guy here, the Pac-Man. You see we have a light in the bottom. One of the things that also was with the Tron is that it did not come with not only an AC adapter cable, it was missing the AC adapter cable that runs from the power adapter to the wall, but it was instead shipped with an extra Y connector for the internal power. Now the power adapter cable that's with it is very generic and had those in stock, so just away we went. The extra power splitter came in handy for lighting up the base on Pac-Man here. So that was kind of, almost a bonus in a way. But, why was the power wire missing? Why was there an extra internal power wire? Why did the joystick fail after what seemed like probably about 10 days? And the spinner failed just outside of warranty. that's a lot for a $699 unit. The cheapest one, I think we're at $199 in this one. It was the first one we picked up. It's been flawless since day one. So he pays your money, he takes your chances. I do enjoy the yellow LED strip, and thank you for Tron for providing your spare power wire to light that one up. Moving on to the next unit, the Tempest unit. This was the third one we acquired, so it was a little bit after Tron. It had a problem as well. Initially, when we first started booting it up, the Tempest here and Pac-Man would boot up at roughly the same pace. I'd turn them both on, and they basically power on at the same time with the Arcade 1UP splash screen. But over time, and I'm not talking years, we're talking less than 2 months, the Tempest started taking longer and longer to boot, to the point where it would not boot at all. The light would come on the Tempest, and why am I blanking what that's called? Light would come on, and it would just sit there. Eventually it would get replaced. Arcade 1UP was really good about it. They shipped me a new main PCB. Out the old one came, in came the new one, and away it goes. It's up and running, and we're going to boot that one up in a second. So that's 3 units. Probably 2 serious problems on Tron, total of 5 minor issues. I didn't have any cosmetic issues, so I'm pretty thankful about that, but a lot of weird things going on there. PCB replacement in the Tempest, so kind of happy about that it's up and running. And we're going to power that one on in a minute. But first of all, I wanted to also bring us to Ridge Racer. Excuse me. Ridge Racer, latest addition to the room, and has been flawless since we've set it up. Now, it hasn't been set up for that long, obviously. These just came on sale. We got it on the $2.99 sale, so pretty happy about that. I think there was even some Kohl's cash in there, so I think we got out the door for like $1.99 on this. So not too upset with that. And absolutely everything people say about the controller is excellent. I would say this is probably the best overall game that we have, even though it does have absolutely the worst sound. People say that it has bad sound. I'm not sure I've heard anyone actually demonstrate how bad the sound is. So we're going to go ahead and demonstrate that for you. We'll get close enough that you can hear it in the inboard speakers, okay? Okay, now we're going to power on Tempest, and we're going to see how much of a difference that is. And I hope that translates into video, that you can see how much of a difference there is there. But it was pretty shocking, to be perfectly honest. If we'd paid $6.99 the sticker price on the Ridge Racer, I think I would have been a little bit upset at the absolute mealy sound and AM radio quality of the sound that was in it. However, it's a pretty easy fix. Around back, you can see I simply attached a couple of speakers. I've used some blue tape to keep them from sliding off the back. These are $15 Amazon Basic speakers. I run the power to the powered output on the wall. Now, if you're familiar with the Ridge Racer, you've probably heard that the speaker output on the PCB is a problem, and absolutely can confirm. I use both the headphone jack and the speakers in a side-by-side comparison. I'm sorry I didn't record it, but the onboard speaker output was not as bad, but still pretty bad. So I've got ahead and connected the external speakers. And again, this is a fit. Well, I guess you could say it was more of a $20 fix if you can include the extension cord that runs to the speakers on the back. But you can see the bass did take a couple seconds to kick in there because it auto senses to boot up the speakers. But once they're on, it's a huge difference. We'll do just some really quick gameplay so you can get an idea of what it sounds like. There's your menu music. So yeah, would I be happier if that wire wasn't sticking out the front? Yeah. So I will take the advice of another streamer and flip that speaker jack so it's internal, get it out of the way, plug it in that way. But for now, this gets me there. I don't even think you could hear that guy on the speakers that are inside the unit. So yeah, you get the idea. You know, basically this is a really simple solution to a problem that shouldn't be there in the first place. $15 speakers, a $5 extension cord, and you're up and running on a machine that was $699 originally. That shouldn't be required, but when you're not paying full price for it, that really wasn't that hard. So there we are. We talked about all four machines. We talked about the problems with each of them, with Pac-Man being not only the cheapest, but the one that had the least amount of problems. In fact, has had no problems at all. And marquee, those are marquees. I finally figured it out. Let's talk a little bit more about what we can learn from this experience. So let's just switch over from the blue light. So let's come over here and, first of all, I want to highlight something that I did to the controller shaft that it was in the original joystick that was faulty. Not only did I replace this one as well with the lightweight switch, but I also took the advice of another streamer. Didn't quite go as in depth as they did. The one that I saw, the person had actually used the plastic cement and left it so that they could actually take it apart down the road. I didn't go that way. I just filled the area with plastic cement, bolted it together, and this is remarkably sturdy feeling. I don't know if you can, this is hard. This is plastic epoxy, actually. So that's not going to break. It's going to break anywhere around that. So if I ever do need to pull the original one out for any reason, I can always put this one back in again if it breaks. So here's the original spinner. It is almost certainly a problem with this piece right here. Now the original spinner, it figures it has, it's very quiet, has really nice action. The spinner that they sent, it's a little bit weirdo sounding. It doesn't quite have the same nice action to it, but it's incredibly precise. It works really, really well. So, at some point in time, if I get extremely motivated, I may try to simply swap out this piece here, which is almost certainly the part that's failed on it, because I kind of like the action on the other one better anyways. But what can we learn from all of this? Anyone who's ever been in retail may have seen something like this. I think insurance also talks a little bit about this as well, especially life insurance. But this is called a bathtub curve. On the left side, we have service incidents. On the bottom, we have time, and then a line that plots it. And we have, thanks, Tron. So, when a company is manufacturing products, they plan to have a warranty on it. They need to know where they're going to put that warranty. So, basically, anytime you're dealing with anything that has, a lifespan, moving parts, anything that can fail, anything that needs a warranty, anything that has, a lot of complex parts, like these arcade 1UP units, your first couple of days of ownership are where you're going to chase out any of the bugs. So you're initially going to have a high incident rate of DOA failure, something that maybe didn't get checked in the factory, something that didn't come along nicely. If I had called Arcade 1UP about the missing power cord, that would have been up here as well. So you're initially going to have that spike of DOA failures out of the box, but then eventually you chase those out and your rate of incidents goes down over time, till eventually you've eliminated most of the bugs and things got to a point where they're starting to wear out. Your parts start to wear out. You start running into incidents where the MTBF, mean time before failure, between failure, starts to become an issue, and you start to run into problems. And your service incidence starts to go up over time to the point where the parts that are failing much more rapidly. You're seeing a lot more service incidents to the point where it's basically no longer functional. Well, a company, when they decide to put the warranty, they want to be able to list the warranty to have the longest warranty possible while still maintaining a profit. If they put that warranty expiring up here, they're going to be out of pocket for all the things they had to repair down here. So, a company who's smart, they're going to put that warranty right here, right? Because this is going to give them the longest amount of warranty. And then as their warranty expires, you're starting to run into service problem as well, so we're outside of warranty. This is something that I suspect that Arcade 1UP chants on daily. This is probably taped to the bathroom walls. This is probably something that they have tattooed, because I absolutely promise that they have set their warranty, or they've purchased their their parts at a price point, more to the point, because the warranties are all the same. They purchased their parts at a price point where this is where their warranty expires. Now, does it expire like this and then it's this smooth? I'm starting to wonder. I'm thinking it's probably a lot more like that. So, what am I saying? What can we learn from this? Well, what we can learn is that when I first purchased Tron and Tempest, I kept both of them on quite a bit of the time because they had really cool lights. They lit up the game room nicely. And, I really enjoy playing most of the games in Tempest. And while Tron is great, you can only play the same two games so often. But I did like having it on. Leaving it on like that, and again, these weren't on 24/7 for 3 months. These were on for probably 2 to 3 hours a day when I'd come down here, because this is also where my office is. So, I'd turn these on at the end of my day, and maybe I'd play them, maybe I wouldn't, and then I'd go to bed. So they were on, pretty much every day for 2 to 3 hours a day. My suspicion is that really pushed that MTBF and really pushed that bathtub curve and really got these to the point where they were chasing down that failure rate, very, very rapidly. So the moral of the story, don't leave your machines on if you want them to last. These are not made to last. These are made to have fun, and that's really kind of it. So when you're not using them, you're going to want to turn them off. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. We also have the Star Wars pinball that I'll do a brief summary on as well. But I wanted to kind of share my experiences with these 4 machines, since I've had at least something interesting happen with them. And if you have any questions or comments, definitely leave them down in the comment field. I'll try to answer them the best I can. Thanks a lot. Check out.